Alright, welcome back everybody. Not be able to leave this location until you completed the Heart of the Gardens. You can save progress. Highly recommend you save on a separate one. We are going to do that here in just a sec. Basically there's no returning from this point. So we're going to give you a warning because we don't want you to start the whole game over from scratch because you happen to be underprepared for the next 3 battles. So, like I said, save often, have a backup save. Those are like 3 tenets of any RPG. Run along in your little RPG. Okay. And you're not saving, and the power goes out, you lose all that. And understand this more of a back in the day thing before autosaves and everything just sort of became natural. You know, it's part of the expected experience that the game's autosaving every 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. However often it does. So if you do lose power, you lose progress or whatever, you're not set back all that far. Old school RPGs, old school games, if you're not saving, you know, save often. I can't emphasize that more than, you know, that. And then number 2, in an RPG, particularly in an RPG, have a backup save. So like if you sit down, you play a game, and you're playing through, you know, a section, you know, say we'll say just Final Fantasy wise. You have reached a mountain, and this mountain is an area, you know, an area where you're going to go through it. It's a maze, dungeon sort of thing, and eventually you're going to reach a boss. Okay, you save right there at the base of that mountain, and then as you go through the mountain, you save on your primary save, but you got a secondary save as backup in case everything fucking goes sideways and you got to go all the way back to the beginning of the area, you know? Or conversely, say you've been playing for a couple hours, time to put the game down for now. Stop, save in the backup spot, get off the game, you know? And the reason for that is if you get yourself stuck in a game and you don't got a backup save, start the game over. Either buckle down and figure a way out to get through that fucking area, particularly if there's a like a no going back situation. Like I can't leave, you know, I can't backtrack down the mountain and leave the area and go back to the previous village, you know? And you get yourself into a no-win situation, like either have the backup save or fucking start over. And I understand, like, I occasionally have gotten myself into a situation where my backup save is like 3 days. Not like 3 24-hour days, but like 3, you know, 2-3 hour days, like 6 hours of progress flushed. And I've bit the bullet and fucking gone backwards in some cases. Like, particularly if you are 100% fucked, you gotta bite the bullet and just do it. I mean, we're not like a survival horror where half the, you know, you're learning the game, and once you've learned the mechanics and you've learned the route, okay, that 6-hour playthrough that you did on your first try, you can cut down to like 2 hours, you know, or maybe it's longer on your first try. I don't know. My brother was playing Resident Evil 1, and he got stuck on the giant snake boss, and he couldn't beat it. It was just too difficult. He didn't have the the right. He just didn't have the right weapons and armor or whatever healing items to get through it. And I told him you have literally two options. You can either go online, figure out a strategy. Well, I guess you have three options. One is get good, which that's fine and dandy, but if you've been banging your head off the wall against the boss for a while, get good generally does not work. Two is to go online and see if you're missing something. Like, for instance, did you miss a rock, did you miss the rocket launcher pickup or the magnum rounds that were standing right before the boss? You just happen to miss that every time. Something that's given to the player to help them through the boss battle. Or at least if you go online, you can find out if you're fucked or not. Because sometimes you're fucked and you gotta start the whole game over. But luckily, because it's an RE game, and you know which way you need to go, you avoid, going down the hallway full of zombies. That's optional. Instead, avoid that whole area, or flip a switch to close a window or something to prevent, to save you time and health and bullets, I don't know. Any hoops. Hoops and hollers, hollers and hoops. What did I wanted to talk about something, and I was holding off talking about it in the previous episode. I don't remember what it is now. There's a point where I'm going to have words with my fucking neighbors. Like, my neighbors run a gym in their basement, okay? So it's not unheard of for them to hear thumping, like doll thumping, coming from, the basement downstairs area. But it's literally like a doll, like, thumping. But like, sometimes, where I'm recording, it sounds like someone is on literally the other side of this wall beating on it. Or like running, they're just like running their toys into it or something. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know much about liches, other than the fact that they are very, very, have very low HP. But they make up for it in big damage. Maybe, I don't know. That big damage, it seemed like it was. Or an AoE spell. Also, they control undead units, recruit them, other related stuff. I'm told the Lich is actually better than the Necromancer. I don't have access to that quite yet, because I had to recruit a Necromancer out of one of the dungeons I was doing earlier. I tried to get a man Necromancer. I wouldn't fucking recruit. I had to kill him. At three different instances where I could have recruited a male Necromancer, and I didn't. It just would not come to my side. I find one female Necromancer, and it's like, oh, okay, I'll join you. Fine. I'm not that I really care if it's male or female. It's just that, like, look on the board right now and count how many fucking male versus female characters I'm running in most of these things. I'm running Denim, whatever his name is, the White Knight character. The only reason Donalto's in the party anymore is because I changed Olivia over to a shaman. Otherwise, he wouldn't be in. And then Canopus, who I've been running the entire game. That's 4 guys right there. Meanwhile, I'm running the 3 sisters in nearly every battle. Kashua in nearly every battle. The Necromancer, I guess you can say maybe I've been running her all that much. You know, either her or the Warlock. They sort of cancel each other out. You know, but you know, Aerosol even. I mean, she's fucking clinch. He's a clutch character. So I've been running her a bunch. So my, you know, male to female ratio seems to be like, well, I substitute one of these 5 guys in, but I'm running almost, not exactly exclusively female, but, you know, if I don't need a healer, Donalto's not in. If I don't need range, or I want a different type of range unit, I'll substitute Aerosol for whatever his name is, the Fusilier guy, you know. Canopus, like I said, I'm running almost exclusively in because he's got all the things. He's essentially a axe wielding, bow wielding, like ruined fencer, you know, like a jack of all trades, master of none, but you don't really need to master anything because, yeah, he's got the movement advantage. That's his big thing, is his movement, but his attack and defense and magic isn't bad either. Right, we'll be done here in just a second. We'll move on to the next stage, which is something. It is going to be something. Ba-ba-bum, ba-da-ba-da-bum. A lot of great stuff I keep picking up. That's great. Great, great, great. Good save. Don't save over the old save, over the backup save. That would be bad, particularly if you have to back out. All right, I'm gonna scout the battlefield. Take a quick peek. You can only see Dark Knights / Templars here. What's your element? Mainly water, so we're gonna leave here. I'm gonna grab some thunder guys. Make sure I've got thunder magic here. I'll pop you out of here. Pull maybe Fusilier guy in because he's also thunder. You would work as well as a dark guy. I'm gonna probably bring you though, because you gotta play the elemental roulette here. Okay, right now water's hot, so you gotta play thunder to counter it.
What's taking so long? They'll be here any minute now.
Patience, Martin.
He's very impatient.
The seal is not what I expected.
Agreed.
Look around you, Barbas. We're all that's left. I've had my fill of traps and seals.
Be silent, or be silenced.
So this, I suppose, is all that's left of the Dark Knights. At least the ones that are loyal to Barbas.
What's that?
And Martin.
Barbas, Martin, there's nowhere left to run.
Andoris must have fallen.
This is it. The words to break the seal.
Be quick about it!
Beloda embarinda. Fexanra len filaha. Seal born of age-old strife. You've served your duty well. In the name of the great father Filaha, I release you.
This is a holy seal to prevent you from going any further.
It's done.
And he just broke the holy seal.
Hold them off!
So.
Damn!
Damn! Alright. Objective is to vanquish the enemy. Wow. Yeah, so she is old conversation, but Olivia is I guess in love with Denim. As to whether or not they end up together, I presume they do, but who knows? All speculation, I suppose. Mr. Donaldo, how are you doing? I'm doing quite fine. Thank you for asking, Mr. Christopher. Yeah. Lindell. Normally, in the word Lindell, at least in English, you would add an E between the D and the L. What else? This should not be too hard of a battle. As again, we are not fighting any sort of boss character that has got pre-approved buffs. You know. Upgrades, whatever you call those things that are floating around. Trying to figure out if I want to do another series after this. As I said before, I'm planning on jumping directly into the Chaos playthrough, at least through Chapter 4. You know, chapters, well, I guess that would be what, Chapter 3? Chapter 1 is regular, Chapter 2 is where the split is, Chapter 2 is where the split is. Second split. And then I guess you'd have all of 3 to play through Chaos. And then you'd have to play through 2, you'd have to play through 2 and 3 on the lawful playthrough. So fun fact about that, which I guess I should probably save for a new episode, but storyline changes based on which playthrough you're in. So for instance, in addition to your friend Vice choosing the opposite of whatever you choose, so you choose to go Chaos and not follow the Duke, he chooses to follow the Duke. You choose to reunite with the Duke, he chooses to rebel against the Duke. You choose to not go down the neutral path and rejoin the Duke, he stays with the Duke. If you choose to be part of the slaughter of Balma Musa, he refuses to do that. which actually allows him to live hilariously. But other characters, you know, some of which we've recruited change, or some of which we've already fought, you know, they change a little bit, you know. Like in the playthrough we just did, the playthrough we're doing right now, neutral one, the Duke is very highly successful, and he basically manages to take on Galgaston all by himself. And the big turning point for that is the Sanja Wield. In the lawful playthrough, it's quite the opposite. He loses that battle, and he thinks that all he needs to do is just double down on what he's already done. And they have a major setback in terms of lives lost at the Sanja Wield, and that ends up kind of being the Duke's downfall, the turning point, if you will. But we'll get there when we get to the law playthrough. But that's what I mean. The game is different based on which path you take. So, neutral, Duke super smart, people love him. He looks like he's on the winning side of history. Duke in the lawful playthrough looks like a complete buffoon. Why'd you even rescue him in the first place? You know? I'm interested to see what Law and Chaos is going to bring us in terms of characters we've recruited, not recruited, fought against, killed, could have recruited but didn't because they're on the wrong side, you know, etc. So that's what I'm excited about. But we'll see. Please die. Thank you.